school students headed to parochial high schools in the Trenton area. When that train was finally discontinued, the railroad wasted no time applying for and receiving permission to tear up the tracks from Cedar to Farmingdale since there was no freight on that section. The last freight customer was a Purina Chow mill just outside of Farmingdale. Recently they torn it up all the way up to Freehold.
Stay.
Route 33 goes over it. But you can still ride your bicycle from the park all the way down to Manasquan and Cedar on that straightaway. Most of it is paved. You go over the parkway on a little bridge and you go under 34 and 35 overpasses. So you have to watch out for traffic on the secondary streets like Oak Road, Hospital Road, Alvera Road, and the others. But the main highways are grade separated. And it's an easy grade because the railroad doesn't like any kinds of hills, so they try to level them out as much as possible. About a 6.5 to 7 mile long. In 1939, when King of England visited the U.S., coming from Washington, D.C. up to Hyde Park to the Roosevelt Estate, they came up to the Pennsylvania Railroad at Monmouth Junction, then came through here, down to Cedar, and then up to Red Bank, and finally up to the Highlands, where they got on board a naval ship to take them up to Hyde Park. Now, as you go around the bend here and then get back into the woods, off to the left of the train, you'll see a siding. That siding is our work train siding. That's where we load stone and ties and rail when we're doing rail work. Down at the end of that track, you'll see the other Navy flat car frame, and that's the way we got them, just a bare empty frame. And next to that is a large red building. That's our main car barn. That's where we store most of our equipment when not in service. There are 5 tracks under cover, each of them about 160 feet long. That's long enough to hold this train plus the coach that we normally be in it. But even with that, we don't have enough covered storage for everything. We still have a number of pieces left out, and I'll describe those as we go down the hill and past the barn. But before we get to the barn, you'll see 3 standard gauge boxcars. They are former C&J boxcars. They have been sold to a factory down in Tom's River where they were used in the manufacturing process for something. And when they shut down, we acquired them and made them here. We use it for storage. Okay, coming up on the left, you'll see the other Navy flat car frame. That's the way we got them. We had to look back in the seating and the handrails and the canopy to make them usable as an open car. As you go down the hill, the first car you'll see in front of the barn is the Tidewater Oil tank car. That's a standard gauge tank car built in the 1920s. They're Tidewater Oil and they're flying in gasoline. In the late 60s, it was sold back to the railroads, so took it down to Bayhead and used it to refuel diesel engines in Bayhead. Now, 3 of those cars were donated to us a few years ago. We turned around and donated one directly to Strasburg. They came down and picked it up and took it back to Roadway. So that tank car you see at Strasburg actually came from here. Not directly from here, but from New Jersey. And rearranged for them to get it. Next in line is a green passenger car with a baggage door. That car, the black locomotive over by the fence, the steam engine, number 117, and the road passenger car are all movie stars. They appeared in the movie in Molly McGuire with Sean Connery and Richard Harris back in 1970. At that time, they were owned by the Carroll Park and Western, an early steam clothes line in Pennsylvania. And the East Fairclough was a narrow gauge freight line in Pennsylvania that hauled mostly coal and ran into the mid-50s and was sold for scrap. But the scrapper instead of scrapping it in 1960 opened up a 5-mile segment of it as a tourist line, and the family ran it until 2011 when they finally shut down. Last year, a bunch of former railroad officials and investors bought the property, and they're in the process of restoring the entire property. This year they're running a short segment with diesel engine. Eventually they hope to have all 30 some miles of track and all 16 engines running in a couple of years. Now our normal operating season starts the weekend before Easter when the Easter Bunny shows up for Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday weekend. And then we run every weekend up until the weekend before Christmas. Unfortunately, the last 2 years because of coronavirus, we've been unable to do that. Last year we didn't start until the last week in August. We only ran about 10 weeks. We had to shut down because of the weather. This year, we were able to start a week or two after Easter, and we've been running since then. We're running as long as we can before the weather gets too cold. And last year we were your ticket purchases and donations. That really killed us last year. We couldn't even pay our insurance bill out of the bank account that we had. So we had to borrow some money from some of the members to pay off the insurance last year. We're doing better this year, but we're still way behind. Last year we didn't hold any of our 4 special events. This year we've already missed Easter, and we're going to miss Christmas, which is 4 weekends. Starting after Thanksgiving with Santa on board, and 3 weekends in October when we invite a few groups and gals to join us for our Haunted Halloween Express. The only special event we may be able to run this year is towards the end of September or early October. We're going to be running Rare Rivers weekend. It'll be reduced from what it normally is, but we'll be running multiple trains. There'll be tours, shops and car barns, whistle blowing. Hopefully some model railroads set up. The group that normally shows up, they won't be here. They've been locked out of their building for over a year because of the pandemic. But we will have some layouts here, and there'll be some other things going on. And watch the website for the date on that. It'll be under njmt.org. So those 3 events that we're missing this year, we're still going to lose probably 60 to 70% of our income for the year. So we're running at less than 50% capacity. The state says 50%, but we've taken half the seats out of the open car, and we're only allowed 6 people in the caboose, and we can't use the coach at all. Normally with 3 cars at full capacity, we'd have about 120 people. We're limited to 32. So we're actually running at about 25% capacity. So we're going to take another big hit again this year. And since the only source of income is we don't get it from the fare box and donations, it's out of our own pockets, it's going to be tough. None of us are exactly rich. Most of us are working class. A lot of us are still working. Fortunately, I'm retired. A couple of the others now are retired. But we seem to have 2 groups, those at or near retirement and those under 20. We need some help in between there. Anyone over the age of 14 can volunteer. We'd love to have you join us. You don't need any experience. We'll give you plenty of experience. Of course, if you have to be a plumber or an electrician or a carpenter or machinist or welder, we'd love to have you. We've got plenty of old equipment that needs a lot of maintenance and repair. So we'd love to have you join us for that. You can get applications from the girl at the ticket office. As I say, we don't get any money from the state or federal government, so we are dependent on new riders to pay for most of this. We do have a donation box set up near where you checked in with your tickets and got your temperature taken. Any donations, whether it be a dime or $1 or $5, $10, $20, $50, whatever, would be greatly appreciated. And we go directly to the 3 expenses we have. the insurance, which we have to be able to operate on state property, the maintenance of the rolling stock, including the locomotives and the cars, and the track maintenance. Have not had any major repairs on the equipment or the track in the last 2 years, but 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when we rebuilt the engine that's in front of us, it was over $70,000. So it's an expensive operation, and we'd like to thank you all for coming out and helping to maintain it. There is a donation box over there. While we were checked in, any donation will be greatly appreciated and would help keep us operating. Without your donations and your ticket purchases, we'd have to shut down. We'll be pulling into the station in just a moment. We ask that you please remain seated until we come to a complete stop and the engineer signals that it's safe to disembark. At that time, go down the steps you came up, hold the handrails, hold on to youngsters, and enjoy the rest of your weekend here at the park. Again, thank you for coming and riding with us. We appreciate it. We hope to see you back. If you enjoyed your ride today or in the past, and you want to see us continue, we greatly appreciate any donation that you may be able to make. Thank you.